Hey, Bert.
Hey, Brian.
I'm kind of bored.
Me too.
Man, if only I had something to do at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. Michelle, can you help us out?
I got something for you guys.
Yeah.
You can come right over to our new Twitch channel, Get Dunked On Podcast, where we are all going to hang out and chat while we play video games.
I love
games.
them video games.
Woo!
Cortaner.
And of course, that must cost a high fee, don't it?
No, this is the best part. You are all welcome to attend for absolutely nothing.
Woohoo!
Can I join?
No.
What about me?
Absolutely.
All right. For more information, you should go over to getdunkedonpodcast.com. Hello, everybody. My name's Craig,
I'm Brian.
I'm Burke.
And I'm Michelle.
and this is Get Dunked On, the podcast.
Yay! It's the most wonderful time.
No.
Fuck you, Brian.
No.
Shut the fuck up. No.
Christmas carols are banned
no.
until the day after Thanksgiving.
They're banned always.
Well, I'm not singing about Christmas, guys. I'm singing about the happiest time of the year.
No, that's a Christmas Carol is what you were going into.
Well, yeah.
And little inside baseball, we didn't record this after Thanksgiving.
a little inside baseball. Well, it's that, it's certain time of year. It's a good time of year for me. What can I say?
It's a great time of year. The weather's going from 60 to 90, and guess who's sick because of it? Hooray!
Yay! Is it Burke?
It's still hot.
Oh, Texas is still hot. I had no idea.
Still hot.
Little inside baseball. Texas is hot.
No. There you go.
So-
Water is wet.
Oh. So, Michelle, you say you're sick?
Yes,
Oh, God. Cold, flu. What are we talking here?
it's cold. I'm just leaking out of every hole in my face.
Oh, no. Got the sinuses and everything else with the temperature changes?
Yeah.
My wife's doing the same thing, but the temperature didn't change. Just leaking.
It's just that time of year where everybody just falls apart at the seams, or what?
Yeah, it must be.
Maybe that's why they call it fall.
Oh! We're the worst people ever. Oh my God. So, was it one of those deals where it just was overnight and you were sick, or was it a gradual thing? You're like, somebody sneezed on you when you were at work and you're like, great, this is coming now.
No, it was just like, well, last week my roommate had to go to the hospital because he was sick with various things, one of which was strep throat. And Sunday maybe my throat started to hurt and I was like, no, like please no. And then the throat stopped hurting like after I drank a couple glasses of ice water, so I think it was just dry. And then I've just been really congested since, but I've had a headache since the last time that we recorded. I've had a headache since then, but now that like my sinuses are draining, the headache's going away.
That is me every single fall and spring now. It used to be somewhat along those lines when I lived up in Michigan. But now that I moved down to Tennessee, I don't know if it's just because there's different pollens, different things. The pressure change is a lot different because I think I've got a higher altitude. I think
Yeah, you are.
I'm at a decently higher altitude, I think, where I'm at. So it's just every single fall and spring since I've been down here, I'm out. Like, I'm going to be
Same.
out. There's nothing I can do about it. There's going to be about a 3 or 4 day stretch that I'm not going to be, I guess, not completely out, but my throat is going to be burning because there's so much drainage going down the back and just everything's congested. I've got a massive headache for those 4 days, no matter what I do. It's just suck.
Yep. So that's what's going on. So I apologize in advance if I start dying. It's okay.
Don't worry, the podcast will go on without you. We'll just kind of we'll
kicked out.
We'll mute you and we'll just keep going. Her gurgling in the background is really starting to throw this podcast off.
Yeah, so it was so funny this week because my wife got sick, I guess, over the weekend. She goes, it's Friday night. She goes, I'm getting sick. I'm like, you look fine. She goes, oh, I'm getting sick. She didn't wake up until 12 o'clock. I was like, yep, she's sick. She walks in, hello. I'm like, oh God, stay away. She goes, I'm not contagious. It's just sinuses. I'm like, no, you're sick. She went to the doctor yesterday. She was sick. Just she was sick, and guess who's all cuddly when she's sick?
Oh no.
Yeah. So
Oh, see, like I left bed last night to go lay on the couch because I am not cuddly when I'm sick.
oh man, somehow I have the I'm super immunified is what I call it. Totally made up word right there, probably, but I rarely get sick. I get sick once a year, maybe. I don't get sinuses, I don't get colds, but I'll get really bad sick once a year.
Well, I'm like Craig too. Like when I moved from our hometown to the town where I went to college, every time I would visit our hometown, I would get like sinus problems.
Yeah.
And then ever since I moved out here, I get them every spring and fall too.
So what you guys are saying is that when you're under pressure, it's pushing down on me,
Under
pressing
pressure.
down on you.
Oh my lord.
No man asked for. Under
Oh my
pressure.
lord.
It's David Bowie, man.
Come on,
I
man.
mean, come on. Like that's a classic.
That was good. It
But-
was good. I liked it.
Thank
I
you.
appreciated it. I'll sit.
Well, thank you, Burke. This is why we're cop buddies.
We're going on a stakeout and we're playing Queen and David Bowie.
Damn straight while drinking rum because we're
Fuck yeah.
irresponsible. Because we're irresponsible.
After we make a bust and get some weed. I mean, what?
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 Whoa, hey, what?
I mean,
what?
Sorry, I've been watching
What?
too much Super Troopers.
He's like, I've been watching too much Narcos. Oh my god. Well, to kind of jump into our topic of the day, which is
Which we've already been
not
talking
partying
about.
with Burke. Yeah, we've already been talking
You
about it
know.
a little bit. I'm sure you can probably guess if you haven't already. It's fall.
Just so you guys know, I want to clarify, Brian hates this time of year. Just hates it, in case you can't tell.
Absolutely.
Yes, he does.
Detests it.
Yes, he does.
I literally spent all day trying to figure out the right words, and I still haven't figured out yet exactly how to express my love for this moment. Like, you have no idea. As much as I was like hyped for the superhero podcast, where I'm like, oh man, I love superheroes and this and that, it just pales in comparison to my excitement over fall, which is why I want to kind of like take a back seat, get your guys' impressions, and go last this week on talking about it a little bit. There's so many things to do and talk about with fall, but I want to kind of go around and get a feel for everybody what their first thought is when they hear fall. Like, what are some of the things that you guys think about?
It means I have to take Cordy shopping to get pumpkin spice everything.
Wow.
Which we actually just did. We went to Target where there's seriously like 50 different items that are now pumpkin spiced, and he got most of them.
Wow.
Like what kind of items? Are we talking
Yeah, I was
food
gonna say-
items, candle items? What are we talking?
Well, he didn't get the air freshener because it's a different brand from what he has. But he got, and what else is available? There's bread, cookies, chips, popcorn, pretzels, cupcakes, donuts, coffee creamer, M&Ms, chocolates, and there's
Wow.
like so many varieties of all of them that are all pumpkin spice flavor.
What?
I thought there was
It's an
I thought there was a
epidemic.
pumpkin spice latte. That was my limit to
I mean, like, he's gonna go to a store to get those, but not like he didn't buy that to make himself.
I just knowing there's all these different things. It's not necessarily knowing that, but it's getting all of them. Because then I'm just thinking in the morning, he's like, "Oh, I've got my pumpkin spice honey nut Cheerios.
It's
and I'm
pumpkin
gonna put it
spice
in my-
mini wheat.
Oh my lord,
Jesus.
and my pumpkin spice milk and my pumpkin spice this. I'm like, wouldn't it eventually get kind of annoying when you're down to dinner and you're like, every single thing I've had today is pumpkin spice, and you're just like basically pooping out pumpkin spice after a day. Like that, it's just a straight flow
No,
through.
I get it. Like, I'm not crazy about pumpkin spice stuff, but like some people go nuts over it, and I've been watching people at work buy one of everything that we have that's pumpkin spice flavored because this is the only time of year they can get it.
Oh my lord! I mean, I hope they're holding on to as much of it as they can
Wow.
for throughout the year use. I just can't imagine just being that engrossed in one particular type of food for every occasion. It's just wow.
But it's limited to a specific time of year. So I get, like, I can understand when it's like anything else. If you make it limited, it's like a club. When you say, oh, you can't get in the club, no one gets in the club. And then they let like 3 people in. And if you're one of the people, you're like, oh, this is the best club ever, even if the club sucks. So you know what I mean? It's the same sort of thing with pumpkin spice. They're like, no, bro. No pumpkins this time of year.
And
You can't get it.
It amazes me too because like if you think about like what other season has something that has that much of
Peeps
one thing.
is the only thing I can think of.
No, but
Marshmallow
all the
Peeps.
Peeps are the same flavor. I'm saying, like, for every other season, like, winter has eggnog, but, like, you don't see a million eggnog
But
flavored
that's
products.
for Christmas. You don't see it
Yeah.
after Christmas really either.
Well, peppermint, maybe. No?
Peppermint's
maybe.
kind of holiday-ish.
Peppermint's kind of holiday-ish, but it's not as prevalent as pumpkin spice.
But you can still get peppermint flavored stuff year round.
Yeah,
Very
but
much.
I don't think there's nearly as much, maybe.
Yeah, there's a
No,
massive
no.
influx in the holidays. Yes.
I'm just going through all the McDonald's shakes in my head, like because it's like there's the pumpkin one, they have the mint one, they have like
Just
you know,
think,
oh, yeah.
I think Starbucks and their flavors.
Good call.
I'm guessing just from my point of view, as much as I love Qdoba, and the three of you know here, and Brian, you know it pretty implicitly from the years that we've spent together, as much as I can have that, I could still only do it like once every couple days. That's still a lot when you're talking about going to a restaurant, the same place, like 4 times in 1 week. Like, holy shit, that's a lot. I couldn't do it like, okay, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast,
No.
lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that.
I mean, I don't
Regardless
think
if it was
he
open-
will, but
But then again, it's different foods with the same flavor though.
Yeah, but
Mhm, That's true. That's true. It's actually more variety than you'd think.
no, but it's gonna be the same. To me, it's the same. That's what I'm talking about. It's the
Burke and I
flavor.
are sitting here playing devil's
It's the
advocate,
same
just
flavor.
poking the bear.
It's the same flavor.
But wait,
Just because it's
but
mushy
it's
once and
pumpkin
crunchy
steak.
the next time, like, that doesn't change the fact.
One is made with milk, one is made with steak. It doesn't matter. It's all pumpkin to Craig.
It's gonna taste like pumpkin spice. Isn't that the point?
Oh my god.
Okay, so for Michelle, it clearly means one thing. and
no,
that's
that's just, I literally got home from a shopping trip an hour ago for it, so that was fresh on my mind.
Oh my god.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. We'll go with Craig. Craig, what about you? What do you think of when they say fall? What's the first thing you think
The
of?
first thing that pops up in my head and has for a number of years now is that it's meaningful games of baseball. That's been the first thing that pops up. You start getting into September and October baseball. September is usually when the playoff races are beginning, where it's mattering your final games, winning those final games to get into the playoffs. And then you're getting October baseball, which is almost fully dominated just by literal playoff games. And that's all it is for baseball. And then, of course, late in October, everybody's favorite time of the year, you start getting into those final days of October. And what comes to your mind? That's right, hockey season starts back up. So that's usually what the
Yay!
second part of fall is for me. Is it's usually baseball playoffs. So it's like a really happy but sad time. It's very sad when the Detroit Tigers aren't getting into it. It's really sad then when everything's done. But then hockey season is usually either a couple days afterwards, or hopefully at times they're intersecting.
So mainly sports
Yeah, that's
stuff. I mean, aside from the one that I shall not mention for your sake for right now.
Yeah, it's just mainly sports for me. There's not too much in the way of that's really about it.
Well, Burke, what is the first thing that you think of when you think of fall? Because I know being from Texas, it's fall's a big deal down there.
Huh? Huh?
First thing you think of when you think of fall, your favorite season.
Huh? What is this mystical 4-letter word that you're talking about besides, falling like off of ladders and stuff? Yeah, no, there is no such thing as fall. As I think we were talking a little bit about it earlier, but it's still 90 degrees here at 7:00 at night, and the official first day of fall or unofficial first day, whatever it is for you, Brian. But yeah, it's still hot. And so I think I said like there is no like intermediary season for Houston, and maybe some northern cities in Texas, but here it's hot and then it's less hot. Like the whole month of October, I actually have the data pulled up. It is literally the 90s now. By the end of October, the highs may be in the lower 80s. That's about to 80. It gets down to 80. So yeah, there you go. That's how it goes, and then it's kind of in the 70s until maybe December, sometimes January, when you'll get random spikes where it'll go down to 40 degrees.
So when you think of fall, the first thing you think of is slightly less hot, but there's not an actual like a distinct
No,
difference
there's
for
It's
you.
also 3/4 summer.
Yeah. But for me, like, that being said, it actually means I can walk outside and not immediately start sweating. Granted, after 5-10 minutes of doing stuff, I'm going to be sweating anyway, but I can go outside and sit on my porch. And what I'm actually looking forward to is going out, like moving my cars out of the garage and being able to sit in my garage and record this podcast and have a nice glass of scotch and a cigar, because that's going to happen when it's not 100 degrees in my garage.
What'd you say the temperature was down there right now?
90.
Dear Lord.
Uh,
I mean, I thought I had it bad. It's 83 here with 50% humidity.
It's 100% humid. Well, I think it's 100%. It's 90 to 100%. Same thing. It's hot. Yeah.
yeah, no. Burke, I'm going to get you to move to Michigan, and then that'll force everyone else to move this back here and everything, because you're the linchpin.
That
Exactly. He's the linchpin. Obviously.
I'm trying to move to Colorado or Alaska. I'm telling you, I'm going extreme opposite. If I go to
Yeah, you
Alaska, it's where the high is maybe 70 for one day. And then
Oof.
yeah.
There you
That's
go.
what I'm talking about right there.
Well, as far as fall is concerned, my first thought, and we'll get into details here in a little bit, but my very first thought is if you say the word fall, I literally just say joy. Like, it literally brings me nothing but unbounding joy. Like, nothing makes me happier than the fall. The temperature has plummeted down to like the low 70s, which is my ideal temperature, because I don't have to wear shorts ever again. I'm so thrilled. Like, at least ever again until like next summer, and I'm so thrilled. You have no idea how much I hate shorts. I get the leaves are changing. There's a million different reasons why this is the best time of year for me, but I'm basically so excited to talk about it. I'm going to need a little bit of focus. So
hey, Brian, have you seen the pictures of me a few years back from New Year's Day, where it was like 10 o'clock at night and I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt, sweating?
Oh no!
I love shorts.
Are they comfy and easy to wear?
They are. I rarely wear pants.
Yeah. No, I'm not a shorts person. I don't like them at all. They drive me insane. But
If I could, I would wear pants. It's not feasible, because if I wore pants and walked around at all, I would just be hotter than everything.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Michelle, on this very interesting topic of shorts versus pants, where do you fall?
My priorities lie on a different piece of clothing.
Oh my god!
Sorry, Michelle.
What piece of clothing would that be?
I get home and I remove my bra immediately. Wearing bras during the summer is the worst.
I can imagine.
I'm glad you can imagine, because I can't. Because
I can tell you, I've witnessed my wife doing the same exact thing. It's like, as soon as that door slightly closed, she's just ripping that thing off. She's like,
Women have mastered the art of taking it off without removing anything on top of it.
oh yeah.
yeah, much of the dismay of men everywhere.
But no, I wear shorts if it's hot, and I wear pants if it's cold. Like, I don't mind one way or the other.
Well, oh geez. Well, let's do this. Just kind of keep things a little bit more focused, so I don't just kind of ramble for the next hour. I'm going to talk about a few things that kind of highlights for fall for me. One of the big things is, of course, back to school. Now, we're all out of school at this point, but when I was a kid, I actually didn't mind this time of year, because going back to school meant I got to see my friends again. I got to do this, a little bit of sports, and also that meant that I get to go to school, come home, and I could play video games. And it was just kind of a nice little thing, because during the summer it was like, hey, go out, play outside. But during the fall, I'm like, yeah, I get to be indoors again. So for me, I actually didn't mind the back to school when I was a kid. What about you guys?
I hate school now because traffic increases and my commute to work doubles. Good, but sorry, that's being negative. Going back to school, I didn't care.
Also loved going back to school, because I do love summer because I love swimming, and especially in Michigan, that's the only time it's warm enough to swim. But for me, summer vacations were kind of a drag, because when my parents created their custody agreement, the school year had a 12-week long summer, so they split it 50-50. And my mom got 6 weeks and my dad got 6 weeks. Well, when they shortened it by 3 weeks to a 9-week summer, my dad still got to keep 6 weeks and my mom only got 3 weeks. And so I had to spend most of my summer vacation at my dad's, and my dad lived like too far away from my mom where I couldn't just hang out with my friends from home or anything. So I was, you know, and there was stuff that we would do that would be fun, but sometimes it just sucked because I always had to spend my birthday for my friends, and I had to spend, you know, all this time away from everybody, and I couldn't hang out with them. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm back to school. I can, you know, same thing as Brian, like I can actually see people.
What about you, Craig? Were you a back to school kid?
Not entirely. If I had to go yes or no, if I had to put my 51% somewhere, I would say no. I was not a back to school kid because I hated waking up. I am not a early riser. I am not a morning person in any form.
If you ever lived in the same room with this fucker, you would know.
Yeah, that's why Burke and I are both laughing instantly as soon as he said that. We're like, uh-huh.
I hate waking up, and that's what that always represented to me was, all right, time to wake up at 6:30 in the morning or whatever it happened to be. And I hated that. Not that summer was ever all that much too much better, especially when I got later on in life, because as I've told on this podcast before, I had time limits for how much I could do in terms of like playing games, watching TV and stuff like that. But later on in life, I didn't have those limits. You know, when I start getting into middle school and high school, like those limits kind of disappeared because there was artificial limits put in there because I was doing, especially during high school, every single week I had 4 football practices, which were disguised as like 7-on-7s. They were not mandatory, but got the wink to and the nudge to let you know that you kind of had to go if you wanted to play.
Oh, yeah.
We had that. I had 3 basketball games a week in a Flint league. I had 2 different baseball teams I'd be playing on. So I'd have 2 or 3 practices for each a week, plus games throughout on the other days, and then tournaments on the weekends. So it was like I somewhat got more time off in the fall, but I couldn't stay up as late in the fall because I had to wake up so much earlier. It was kind of like my time scale kind of shifted. In the summer, it would be, hey, you could wake up at 9 or 10, and then I could stay up later, which seemed like it was more effective because the other two of you know, I'm a little bit more of a just night owl in general. Like I'd rather stay up later and wake up later. That's just the way my body feels better. And so, like, if I had to choose, I'd end up going summer just because of the whole sleep in thing. But neither one of them really represented that much reprieve from duties.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah, I didn't mind the wake ups because I'm kind of a morning person in general. Like when I wake up, I'm like, all right, I'm up. Let's do this. But yeah, I don't know. But going back to school was really fun because immediately at the start of the school year, like there was like 2 awesome things that would happen in the first month. So aside from, this is not including like football, which was fun too, but there was football going on. But the 2 fun things were I had my birthday in September as well as homecoming. We usually would fall right around my birthday. So it was like within like a week or so, it was just like bam, bam, 2 fun events in a row, which helped really like the start of the solidification of the idea of fall is fun, right? So like I got to do that whole thing at homecoming. Oh my God. Like as a kid, like homecoming was actually fun as a kid. Like as an adult now, I'm like, I'll never go to that thing, like, or even go to the parades or whatever. But like as a kid, like I was like, yeah, I'm into this. Like I don't know. Did Burke? Did you have homecomings in Texas?
So yeah, we did, but my school didn't because I was the first full graduating class. So during the time where all the other high schools around had a homecoming, we had what we called a celebration dance. And I absolutely hated it. Because I guess one year I got my heart broke by a girl. Oh. And yeah. And we had to buy these. I think I said this in another podcast. They were called these mums, the MUMS, where they were just absolutely ridiculous, like 50-pound flower looking stupid things. Yeah, Google that shit. And it's just ridiculous. And they cost an assload of money for a high schooler. And no, I hated it. I absolutely hated homecomings. And because they played the celebration song over and over in between every class. So I hate that song now. Every time I hear it, I'm like, oh God, high school.
Homecoming baffled me. It wasn't that I hated it. It just was, I don't know if this is the right term, but sort of in the right direction. It was kind of useless, like pointless to me. I was like, I don't really care. And I was always forced to go to these things. I never cared one bit. I'd rather be back home playing a video game or doing something else, you know? And then it got to the point where then in high school, being on the football team, you like had to participate in these events and stuff. The only thing I liked,
Yeah, the floats and stuff.
oh my Lord, the float, I wanted to burn those things down every single time I got roped into doing those. I hated doing that kind of stuff.
Oh God.
The only thing I liked about it was the like, what it was like we'd always get out about a half day, I think, on the actual homecoming day, like the homecoming
Yes.
game day, whatever, that Friday. And we'd have like the little challenges in the gym. It's the only thing I liked about the whole thing, because it was like fun. You did something different. Everything else was like, hey, let's dress up and be crazy throughout the day. But you really have a lot of strict regulations on what you can and cannot wear. So don't go too crazy, because then you're going to be offensive. But you can't do it this way too much because you're not wearing enough clothes. But you can't do all of this because of this and this and this. So make sure you're within these guidelines. Like, so we're all going to wear the same thing? Yeah. Well, this is stupid.
So Craig hates rules and liked the part where there was a direct competition. Weird.
Well, the whole competition thing was just kind of fun, just because it was like everybody was in there and everybody's kind of yelling at each other, and the people that were vocal, you could tell they were into it, and that's the only part you could hear. You couldn't hear the people that were like, yeah, this is dumb. And they can think that's dumb, because I thought the rest of it was dumb, so that's fine. It's just that part I actually got, like, I had fun with, and I tried to participate. Every other portion of it,
Sure.
being in the parade and doing all this other stuff, I could have cared less. Could not
Michelle,
have cared
what about
less.
you?
I could not have cared less. Excuse me.
I mean, I always enjoyed homecoming time because, like, for Spirit Week, like, when we'd have pajama day, like, best day of the year, because I didn't have to
Yeah,
get
right?
dressed for school, but, and I was like, oh, I can stay
Nice.
in bed till 6:59 today instead of getting up at 6:55. But, like, I mean, I always enjoyed the homecoming time. Like, I always had fun at the parades and, you know, at the football game and stuff. And it's probably because my whole family would do it, so it was, like, a nice event for us. But, like, I didn't care about, like, I didn't go to making the floats because I had no interest in making the floats. I liked to see them, but I didn't care about making them.
And Brian, you can attest to this point of it. How much emphasis was putting on winning the homecoming game during football.
Well, yeah, you had to win homecoming.
Yeah, and to me that completely didn't make sense, because it's still just another game. It
No,
just
it's
went
not.
to an
It's
overall
homecoming.
record. It didn't matter. Playoff implications were null
That
on that
doesn't
necessary day.
matter. Playoff implications doesn't matter in the homecoming game. It's all about winning. Here's the deal. I mean, granted, our year, our senior year was kind of the exception to the rule as far as most, like, football stuff is concerned, because we had a crazy turnout and stuff. But, like, it was like the whole town came out on homecoming. So it was like the one time that you had the biggest audience. It was the whole town, like, people, like, you know, in your head as a kid especially, it was like, people are coming back to town and they want to see the pride and joy of the town, and we better do our best out there. And if you like it was a whole day of, like, you're out early, man, there's parades, everyone's having a good time. And if you lose the game, it's just like, well, I just caught a huge fart and lost this whole thing and put a damper on the whole day. And you're like, no, I'm not going to be that team.
I had none of that in there. It was still just another game. You wanted to win because you wanted to win.
No.
Regardless if it was that game, opening game, the second game, fourth game, last game of the season, when you've gone 2-7 throughout the season, I've been there. I wanted to win all of those equally. It didn't matter.
So Craig, let's pretend you went on to play college football for University of Michigan.
Okay.
And it's the versus state. Is that a completely different game in your mindset?
In a sense, yes.
So and I think that's where Brian's getting at. I mean, I know it's rivals, but that I think that is the
Equivalent.
high school.
Yes, I
rivalry
agree
right
with
no,
that.
we had a rival.
Well, we had
in
a
football.
rival. Yeah, I guess we
We
did.
had a
but
rival
still.
in baseball. We had a rival in basketball. We had different teams that were always a good competition, and you wanted to win those to prove you were better. Like
No,
the
no, no.
homecoming
See,
game,
like-
we always got cupcakes. We
Yeah.
always got cupcake teams.
Well, not always. I mean, you know, kind
the
of.
last 3 years, yes, we got cupcake teams.
Okay, we did, but whatever. Like, the point is, we still had to win it. Okay, like, that was the big one. Like, if we lost every game that year but one homecoming, it was still an okay win my book. Like,
no, dude. Like, if you would have lost every single game besides the Montrose game, and you had won that before our senior year. Montrose was our big rival, and there's more to the story
Okay.
behind that. But I'm just trying to get to Brian on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
If
yeah.
we had beaten Montrose and lost every other game, that would have been one of the ones where that one game would make things just a tiny bit better for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I would rather one homecoming.
Yeah, see, like, I don't care about the event. Like, I cared about beating the team that always was beating us. Like, we win. Fuck you guys.
I see both sides of this argument because I never want to lose, but I see why Brian puts the emphasis on the homecoming, even though like I knew my team was never going to win. Again, we never had people who were old enough to be on a true varsity team, right? So our varsity team was literally 14 and 15-year-olds playing 18-year-olds. So we lost all the time.
Yeah.
Growing, but by the time they were seniors, they actually did pretty well. But even then, I didn't care.
Mm.
I know I'm not a Texan. I didn't care about football, but our stadium
Blasphemy.
was always packed. Our stadium, the stadiums were always packed with people on Friday Night Football. It's Texas. You've
Yeah.
seen the movie. It's like that. Even in the big city where there's hundreds of games going on throughout the city, they're all packed.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. I mean, football has varying like levels of like across the country, like people are into it or not or whatever. But like, I don't know. It's all part of fall and getting back to fall. See that transition there? You like that? So no, beautiful. Just like the foliage. Boom! Here we go. New topic.
I will give you that. I love seeing trees turn colors. Unfortunately, I don't get that down here, so I have to travel to like exotic places like Tennessee. No, we really don't like exotic places like Nashville, Tennessee. I did get fall for 4 years of my life when I was in college in Nashville.
That's cool.
And it was I absolutely loved it. And what was cool when I was in Alaska about a month ago, the trees were starting to turn, in August. So I got to experience a fall this year in August. It was really cool.
That is awesome. I mean, I can't imagine a fall without like color change. So definitely, I think that's awesome. I say it's kind of like one of the biggest things, biggest pulls of the season is like, man, I mean, like the whole like the forest literally looks like it's on fire, except for it's just lit up with color. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah. We have all of our trees. We have a few hardwoods, but most of our trees around here are pine. So
I gotcha.
So the little needles and they do fall, but not all of them. There's still tons on the trees. Like it doesn't get bare like it does, in gray.
Yeah, I picture your hometown, Burke, with just a bunch of like those Charlie Brown Christmas trees, like bent over.
we actually have really a lot of firs around here that do. We have good Christmas tree farms and whatnot, but like they're never snow covered, of course. But that being said, I don't know if on Google Maps is up. Is like there was a time, I guess it was in college when I was living with Craig. I was like, "Yeah, this is Christmas time." They're like, "No, it's not. It's green. It looks like it's summer." I was like, "No, this is Christmas time." I'm like, "How do you know?" There's Christmas lights in their yard. Everything is still like green as it would be in summer, and there's Christmas lights in the yard.
So last fall, I actually drove on Halloween weekend to surprise my parents, and it was great because driving through Pennsylvania is really pretty during the spring too, when everything's really green. But to see all of the forest on the low mountains in Pennsylvania for the whole drive was gorgeous during the fall. But like the whole state of Pennsylvania was super pretty last fall. With, like I said, because there's like on the low Appalachian Mountains that are through most of the drive of Pennsylvania, there's forests on almost all of them, and you can see like a lot of river valleys and stuff with it too.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Craig, you said that Nashville, or Burke was saying that Nashville does get color changes. Is it like Michigan or no?
Sure. I have no idea. I did not pay attention to these things.
Are you kidding me?
It does. It gets like Michigan. I've been to both places in the fall.
Okay. Thank you, Bert.
It's beautiful. It is like the rolling hills that you have through Tennessee. Like it's amazing because you'll just see like patches of green through all these like dark. They have some of these beautiful dark red flowers that start blooming during fall, which just goes against the other reds and yellows. Dude, it's Tennessee is beautiful during the fall.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, like Craig's sitting over here like the Grinch of fall. Like Craig, let me guess, you're against going to like apple orchards and that kind of thing too.
I don't mind going there and purchasing products. I hate going there and hanging out. Like if you're going there and you're walking around and stuff, I'm like, no, just Get your fucking donuts, get your fucking cider. If you want to buy 6 apples, buy 6 apples. Let's get the shit out of here. We got things to do.
No, man, it's an experience. That's the whole point. You're supposed to hang out, have a donut, and then a cider, and then you buy.
Yeah, I want to sit around and have boring experiences. That's what I want to do with my life. It's just boring to me. Like, I don't like going and sitting there and doing those things. Like, oh, let's go here and we're gonna go on a hayride and I'm like, why? I feel like I'm just wasting time right now.
Dang.
I'm with you, Brian. John and I went on a date to an orchard last fall, and it was great.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Did you guys end up getting any cider or anything like that?
Yeah, like we got cider and donuts. We picked our own apples. The orchard we went to had a petting zoo, so we walked through that. And they had a lot of events and stuff because it's a huge orchard. We picked out pumpkins, and then a couple weeks later, we went to the same area to like a pumpkin carving contest, and we saw 200 awesomely carved pumpkins.
Don't even get me started on picking out pumpkins.
What's wrong with that?
Oh my lord.
No. What's wrong with that?
That's the biggest one I don't like is we sit there for 45 minutes looking at all these pumpkins that are roughly the same exact pumpkin. Yes, the sizes are different. Oh my God. But it's a pumpkin we're going to carve into. Like, they're all basically going to be the same. Like, I want one that's bigger. I'm like, okay, then get the bigger one. But this one looks prettier. Doesn't have as many blotches. Okay, then get that one.
Oh my God.
Michelle nailed
This
it.
is
I'm putting that
awesome.
sound in an editing.
Craig is like the fall Grinch. Like, damn.
Okay, no.
Wow.
Wait. We'll keep this train rolling. Okay. Craig, how do you feel about Halloween?
Don't really care for it. Does not.
I love Halloween.
It has no
Talking
bearing.
about.
The only thing about it that actively does anything against me is when people come up and ring my stupid doorbell or knock on the door trying to get food. I'm like, go away. I don't want you here anymore.
What?
I hate handing out candy.
See, and like I've spent the last 4 years hoping trick-or-treaters will show up and they don't, and I'm like, no.
Well, then you need to come
Yes,
here
exactly.
for Halloween then, because the little shits come over here all the time.
Little shits.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
do
it's true.
decorate?
I was in Nashville. It happened last year.
Do you decorate? Do you wear
No.
costumes?
No,
Do you hand out candy?
Did you hate it as a kid too?
I liked getting the candy. I hated doing the dress up thing. I didn't really care for it.
Craig has no childhood of like happiness. He's like my childhood consisted of beating others into submission
And baseball.
and baseball.
That was roughly it.
Yeah, he had to trudge through his sports days to get his hour of video gaming and reading.
I had to. If I wanted to watch any TV or play any video games, I had to go through 3.5 hours worth of sports after a day of school. Like, I didn't have time to do all these like playing around as a child. I wanted to get to the playing around.
I didn't have time for a childhood. I was too busy counting my money. It's like, oh shit, it's real. Like,
See, and the thing is, I don't mind that other people do any of this stuff, and it's not like, oh, you're dumb for doing this. I'm like, I just don't want to be a part of it. Like, I don't care to do it. You guys go ahead and do it. You guys go out and hand out candy, and you go to Halloween parties dressed up as this and that, and you guys go to your pumpkin patches and your haunted hay rides. Okay, the haunted hay ride stuff I can do. I like the scary things. Those are fun. But like, you can go off and do all this other stuff. I don't care. It's just, if you're going to invite me along and then like guilt me into going, don't be surprised when I'm there if I'm not exactly the most perky person in the world during the whole thing.
well, I mean, like, I guess like it's hard for me to imagine it. How can a child not want to like dress up as something cool as a kid? Like for me, I remember, like, oh man, I want to be Batman this year, and I dressed up as Batman, and there's pictures of me running around, and I wore that thing for like a month afterward. I was just Batman every day, and I was like, yeah, I'm Batman, and I was running around as a kid. Like, it was the best.
I don't remember doing anything like that.
And that brings me to one of my key points that, as I said, I had a million of them, but I wanted to focus on one of my key points of why I think fall was magic is that I literally think it is magic. Like, I absolutely, like, there's a weirdness to it that between Halloween and everything else, I was always that kid who was into the supernatural and the weird magic-y type stuff. And like, this is the time of year where I feel like it's the opening of Castlevania, where they're like every 100 years, the veil between the human world and whatever like weakens and that kind of thing. But that's kind of what it is and what it represented for me. It was like this little magic time where anything could happen. Witches were real. Like, it was all real. Like, ghosts were real. Like, it was magic, man. Like, I don't know. Like, and so Halloween was like the epitome of that because everyone could dress up. You could be a hero, you could be a monster, and it didn't matter. And it was just tons and tons of fun. So, like, for me, like, Halloween is one of like the cornerstones of fall. And that's, I don't know. I just have such a strong feeling about it. I don't know. I mean, I'm gushing a lot, obviously, but like as much as Craig hates fall, I love it.
No, I like it too. I like the fall thunderstorms, the caramel apples, the cider, just the leaves changing. You know, it cools down enough where you can be comfortable. You know, you get to wear hoodies, which I love wearing hoodies.
Oh, me too.
It's just a nice time of year.
Yes, it is. And
It's not that I hate it. It's just I'm very indifferent, and then I get forced into doing these things. I want to make sure that's clear, is that I'm not hating on it. I'm hating when I'm forced to do these things.
Hey, okay. We need to find something that Craig loves about fall. And there is one thing that I know Craig absolutely loves about fall.
What's that?
Can anyone guess what that is?
Ooh.
Do I get to guess?
Thanksgiving?
Oh, okay, there's one guess. All right. I know what my answer is going to be.
I was gonna guess Cyber Monday.
Okay, I guess I'm the last one because we had Cyber Monday, we had Thanksgiving, and my guess was going to be specifically Halo, because all Halo games have come out in fall.
Ooh.
But video game holiday season in general. That's my guess.
true.
Yeah, I like that portion. I wouldn't. Granted, it is technically fall. Like, I consider most of the Halo releases, since they're in November, that's winter to me. Based on
Nope, that's fall.
It
is September, October, November is considered fall.
based on my childhood recollection of things, I always considered that
Look it up.
winter. I don't care if it's officially. I'm saying I always considered it in my head, whether it was technically correct or technically wrong, which it was technically wrong. I fully understand. In my head, once it got to the point where it was snowing, that was winter to me.
And I get it too, because, like, I mean, I don't know if this was the case for you, but, like, yeah, those games would come out in November, but that meant, okay, I have to put this on my Christmas list to get it for Christmas, and so it became a winter thing, even though that's when they were releasing.
When I was a child, that's definitely how it was. When I got older, it's just now, but
Yeah, now it's they're coming out. I'm getting it today.
I'm still like that. The Christmas thing.
As a kid until I was like 13 or something like that, 13 or 14, when I would just start buying games on my own. It was always, I had to wait till Christmas for me to be able to get them. Well, and my birthday is like, and Burke probably knows the pain as well, but my birthday's close enough to where they would literally just lump those things together and just give me presents just on one day.
No wonder he's so angry at the world.
I'm lucky enough that my birthday's far enough away.
We're not going to start the whole thing about how I literally like never had a birthday party and stuff like that. We're not starting that now.
Yeah. Both Craig and I could go down that path.
I can
six
too for
days
different
away.
reasons.
6 days away.
So let's talk about how much we all love fall.
So Craig, well, I know you already mentioned baseball, but what was your guess on why you love fall besides all your sports things?
It starts getting cooler and I'm not sweating like a hog all the time. That's
I'll
usually
give you
my
that.
first thing.
That's one of mine too, because I can be outside. I've already started usually in the fall, like is when I start doing projects outside. Like, I've already started doing mini projects, like building stuff outside for stuff that goes inside, because I can sit in my garage, and work on stuff. It's awesome.
Well, I say now that I know that we're all in the same boat as far as loving fall, especially Craig, I'm ready to test your guys' knowledge about the season itself.
It's 4 letters.
Craig, Burke gets a point. Yes! That was actually a hidden bonus question. That's the daily double.
It's also a pillar in a ship.
God dang it. So here's what we're
Craig
going
gets
to
a point
do.
too. Michelle, any random facts?
No,
-1.
it's okay. I'm gonna make a comeback.
That's true. She always does. She always wins this thing. She's the one I bet on. All right, here's the deal. We're going to have the quiz. Everyone's going to get a chance to answer. The order in which we're going to go today, to mix it up a little bit, is going to be Burke, Michelle, followed by Craig as last.
Boom, the order I had on my spreadsheet. I love it when I guess right.
Whoa.
I do I roll a d4 every time to see who goes which way. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and start off by reading my little introduction for the fall quiz. Fall is the most magical time of year. When colors on the trees start changing, there's a chill in the air, and we're finally out of the heat of summer into the greatest season of all. Everything good about life happens in the fall, and this quiz is designed to show you some interesting facts about the season that we all know and love. Starting with number 1. Researchers have found that during the fall, men are far more likely to watch what genre of movie?
Rom-com.
I'm gonna go with horror.
I'm going to go different from her, even though that was my idea, but I'm going to go action.
Action. The answer is rom-com, romantic comedies. And the reason is that the cold weather instinctively makes people want to seek out warmth and comfort in other human beings. So they're more likely to cuddle on the couch and do that kind of thing. So
Well, how about more than me and Michelle's answer than the warmth of your enemy's blood?
I mean, Burke, you're the scorekeeper. You got to determine whether or not that.
I get the logic, but I thought that would be more winter.
I know. I would have thought so too, but apparently this is by winter they're over it. It's according to the research.
Yeah, winter's like get us the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I get it. We turn the heater on, everything's cool. All right, number 2. In America, we call the season fall. In the UK, it's known as autumn. Before these terms were used, this period of the year was called blank.
Middle year.
Harvest season.
Something equinox.
I'm going to give it to Michelle. The answer was harvest.
Oh, nice.
She said she was right in that ballpark, and yep, harvest is it. She was right. She is going to make a comeback, isn't she?
I never win these things, so I'm already resigned to losing.
That confidence, though. Number 3, autumn babies have a superpower that science is yet to explain. Apparently, if you were born in autumn, you are more likely to live longer than those born in any other time of the year. What age are you more likely to live to if you were born in autumn? 70, 80, 90, 100, 110.
90.
I'm gonna go with 80.
I'm going to go with 80, Bob.
And you go with 80. Closest one to it is Burke. The answer is 100. You are actually 30% of all people who reach the age of 100 were born in this time of year.
Interesting.
Go figure, right?
So the other 70% are born in other times of the year, but people from the fall live longer?
Apparently, they said that. Well, this is like people who reach the age of 100. They said the percentage of people who reach 100, majority of them fall into the category of falling in this time of year.
30% is not a majority.
Well, the other ones are going to be like 25, 25.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a low win percentage that I'm like, okay, you could basically turn that to be it's just random. And it just happens to be that way.
It's pretty random, but apparently, like it's whatever. It's backed up in multiple locations. I found it.
I don't consider it correlation. I consider it just coincidence. But go ahead. It's true, but I just consider it coincidence instead of correlation.
We're gonna scientific method this sucker out. Okay, number 4. In the fall, men are subject to a change. They have higher levels of blank in the fall than any other time of the year. So men have higher levels of blank in the fall more than any other time of the year.
Estrogen?
Okay. Burke guesses that.
I was going to say testosterone.
Okay.
I'm going to go with episodes of Rage because their fantasy football team didn't perform the way they wanted.
All
AKA
right.
testosterone.
You know what? I'm actually going to give the points to both Michelle and Craig because testosterone is the answer.
Damn it. I wanted to say that, but I was like, let's go with something stupid.
They say this is possibly due to the mating instincts, or it's because of the decrease in daylight that somehow triggers it. That they're not exactly sure as to why that happens.
Interesting.
Number 5. Fall is also statistically the time when Facebook's relationship statuses change the most. Change to what the most?
What are the options, Bob? As a person who doesn't have Facebook, I am unfamiliar.
It's in a relationship. Let me see here. It's in a relationship. I'm going through all of them because I want to make sure I have it all written down here correctly. It's complicated and breakup.
Oh, so 3 options.
Or single. It says single, but yeah, it's break. But meaning like you broke up with someone. If you
Let's
change
go
it to
with,
single.
let's go with it's complicated, Bob.
Hold on. Technically, there is single, in a relationship, engaged, married, it's complicated, in an open relationship, widowed, separated, divorced, in a civil union, and domestic partnership.
I'm going to go with in a civil union.
Yeah, you were closer on your first try.
I'm sticking with my first try.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm gonna go with single.
I'm
And Craig?
gonna go with in a relationship because they do not want to be alone for the holidays.
The answer is in a relationship.
Damn it, that was mine first
Say-
guess. Good job, Craig.
The truth is that summer is actually the highest time for breakups if you're looking at it according to Facebook statistics. So
And Valentine's Day is it's complicated.
exactly. They don't have that listed there, but I'm going to trust what you said there, Burke.
I'm just sure.
Exactly. Number 6. The fall may be amazing, but it is not perfect for everyone. Studies have shown that women lose blank in the fall.
I'm just gonna go with estrogen.
I'm gonna say, I don't know, because you made it sound like a bad thing. I was gonna say like, I guess dopamine, whatever makes you happy.
My first reaction was going to be they lose their shit because pumpkin spice came out.
Oh my God.
But I'm gonna go with sleep.
Sleep. So unfortunately, none of you get the point on this one. The answer is hair. They lose more hair. Apparently, during the summer months, women grow a bunch of hair on their head, not purposefully, but their body does this to protect their head from the summer heat. And then during the fall, a lot of it falls out in mass quantities. So they lose hair in the fall. Number 7. Heart attacks and car accidents decrease in the fall because of the end of blank. So heart attacks and car accidents decrease in the fall because of the end of blank.
Road construction.
And that goes on here year round, Craig.
That's true.
Oh my God, those are 2 seemingly random things. Because something ends.
Yep, because of the end of blank. This one's the tough one. End of summer.
I'm going for summer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I was thinking something similar. I'm like, how do I word this so it doesn't sound dumb?
You can ballpark it like Burke and just say summer is fine if you really want to go down that road.
No, I'll say like at the end of like I guess the end of animal mating season, so there's less animals maybe driving into running into the roads while people are driving.
Okay.
My real answer is going to be the end of high heat and high exertion.
All good guesses, but the answer is actually the end of daylight saving time. They showed that on literally the day after daylight saving time ends, it like the percentage of heart attacks and car accidents drops like dramatically. It's crazy, and the day after it occurs in the spring, the amount of heart attacks and car accidents shoots up like crazy. I don't know, blew my mind too. So that's number 7. That was probably one of the hardest ones that you're going to see. All right, number 8. Number 8 is a really fun one. Oktoberfest, which I'm having Oktoberfest right now. But Oktoberfest is the beer festival in Germany that has existed since 1810. Okay, so but the question is about how many gallons of beer are poured during the festival each year. So how many gallons of beer are poured at Oktoberfest each year?
To clarify, are you talking about the German one or are you talking about like the worldwide?
No, I'm talking about the actual German one.
500,000.
500,000 gallons is from Burke, and it's just closest one to it wins.
500 more.
And I would drink 500 more.
I'm gonna say 200,000.
Is this closest rules
Closest
or
one.
Price is
Closest
Right?
one. Yeah.
Not Price is
Not
Right.
Price is Right. It's just whoever's closest.
I could have edged out Michelle.
I know. I thought of that because I did that last, like I think it was either last week or the previous week. I don't remember which week I did that. But
Yeah, you were doing it to Craig. Craig would be like 15.
exactly.
You'd be like,
So
51.
I tried to design this quiz about trying to avoid that. So
Yeah. Let's go with 500,001 gallon.
technically, Craig is the closest. It's 1.3 million gallons.
Nice.
1.3 million gallons is poured every
Wow.
Oktoberfest. Can you believe that?
I was thinking it had to be in the millions, but I was like, I'm gonna half that number.
I was thinking it was going to be up like 700, 800, and I was like, well, if Burke's got the highest one already, I might as well just prices right him.
That's hey, it works, man. Number 9, the most
Nice.
craved food in autumn is what?
Pumpkin spice? No, that's not my answer. Let's go with turkey.
I'm going to say pie.
Pie. Okay.
Damn you, Michelle! Oh
Oh, sorry.
gosh. I'll also say pie.
You want to just try to be more specific on the type of pie?
Let's go with pumpkin pie.
Okay.
I was going to say, if you want me to specify apple pie.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to give it to Craig. The answer is actually pumpkin in general. Pumpkin is the most craved food in all of autumn. In all of its various forms.
Okay.
But pumpkin is the most craved. All right. Number 10. We all know
So
the
my
kids.
first answer would have been right.
Actually, it would have been. You would have been the one who got the point on that had you
Fuck
gone with
me.
yeah. Sometimes it's okay to guess the most obvious way, but number 10. We all know the kids game bobbing for apples, but did you know that it was based on a tradition started in Britain as a blank ritual? So it was a ritual in Britain originally, bobbing for apples. What type of ritual was it?
Wiccan.
I'm sorry, can you specify the country again?
Britain. It was a British. It had basis in a British ritual. It was, but what type of ritual was it?
I don't think this is Britain. I think this is more Ireland, but I'm going with it anyway. I'm going to say Celtic.
I'm going with to eliminate witches
To eliminate
or detect witches.
to detect. Okay.
Burn her!
While I appreciate Craig's guess, I'm going to go ahead and say that nobody gets the point in this one. The answer is that it was a courting ritual. Men were assigned an apple, and eligible women would bob for them, hoping to grab the apple of their beloved. That was the whole idea behind it. So it was a courting thing. So yeah, who would have known? All right, we're gonna go ahead and kind of do some rapid fire for the last couple of them here. You guys ready for this? All right. Fun fact: trees are not green. Their natural their natural colors are the ones that you see in the fall. The problem is that the trees are filled with too much of this in the summer that makes them have the green appearance. What are they filled with that makes them look green? That hides their natural color.
Oh shit. I know this.
I almost shouted it out. I was waiting.
I thought we're going to shout it out.
Oh. Green pigment.
Oh boy.
Or chlorophyll.
Yeah, chlorophyll.
Yeah, everybody gets the point.
More like borophyll.
Everyone.
I was hoping somebody would say that.
I was waiting. I didn't care if Brian said I got the point wrong for it. I was going to say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody gets the point on that one for sure. Yeah, chlorophyll.
Sorry, I'm slow, guys.
It's all good. It's you got to get
Man.
you got to fire up the magic school bus with the VR thing. It's
That's right.
All right, number 12. Pumpkins are very popular at this time of year. They're used in foods, drinks, decorations, and in competitions. The largest pumpkin pie was made in New Bremen, Ohio, and was 20 feet in diameter. How much did the pie weigh? So there was in New Bremen, Ohio, the world's largest pumpkin pie was made. It was 20 feet in diameter. Your job is to tell me how much did that pumpkin pie weigh?
How thick was it or how tall was it?
Unknown. It didn't say. It just gave me a diameter and the
It
weight.
could be 40 feet tall.
It wasn't 40 feet tall. I will say that it took days to bake and was cut into over 5,000 slices when finished.
Oh, what was the diameter?
20 feet.
20 feet.
20 feet.
This is not enough information for this
I
question.
know, right?
4,000 pounds.
I'm going to assume it was a pretty thin pie, so I'm going to go with 1,500 pounds.
I'm gonna end up going with 2011 pounds.
The closest one to it is Burke with it's 3,699 pounds. So
Holy
the
shit.
biggest pie was 3,699 pounds, 20 feet in diameter. Crazy.
I was literally
Crazy.
going for a really high number so Craig wouldn't go 5,001
Okay.
or 4,001.
Yeah, and
Excuse
just try to edge
Oddly
out.
enough, I almost went right below you.
me. Oh, that would have been Nice.
Okay. All right. So just a few more here. Number 13. Halloween may date back to the days of pagans, but trick-or-treating is far more recent. The first printed recording of trick-or-treating occurred in Blackie, Alberta. It's in what year?
1897.
1911.
1911.
I'm gonna go with 1921.
The closest person is Craig. The answer is 1927. 1927 is the first recorded
Wow.
thing of trick-or-treating. Okay. Number 14. That would not be a Brian quiz without your dosage of mythology. So, you guys ready?
Always.
This is where if you paid attention in your history classes, you might know this one. So we're going to
Fuck.
talk about autumn in Greece, specifically the Greek myth that blames autumn on the abduction of Persephone. Her mother, Demeter, the goddess of Greek harvest, was heartbroken and caused all the crops on earth to die until her daughter was allowed to return, marking spring. So I offer 2 points for this question. First, who abducted Persephone? And the second is, why did they abduct her?
Hades.
Okay. And why did Hades do it?
Why? Oh, let's go with because she was beautiful.
I love Greek mythology. It's one of my favorite stories. He abducted her to marry her. Hades abducted her to marry her.
I can play this one of two ways. I can either copy her answer or say the answer I had already in my head. Which one do you want me to do?
I want you to do what your heart tells you.
Okay. If this had been a shouting match, I wouldn't have said that. So I was going to say Hades, but I was going to say because he wanted her to, people were loving her too much during the fall. So he was trying to take her away so that people would start hating her for whatever stupid reason he might have for that because he's jealous.
Gotcha. So everybody gets the 1 point for Hades, but Michelle gets the second point because that's exactly right. Because he wanted to marry her and make her the queen of the underworld. That's exactly
I
right.
freaking knew that. Jesus. One,
So you-
2, 1. All right.
All right. Number 15, and this will be our final question of the day. So, pumpkin spice latte. This is what it's all about, people. We all knew it was going to come down back to the pumpkin spice. So that is the basic white girl crack, as it's known on the streets. It generates lots of money for Starbucks every year. On average, how many millions of dollars will these drinks bring to that company every year? So this is just Starbucks and just pumpkin spice lattes. How much money does that generate for them every year?
$5 billion.
Okay, let me rephrase. It's how many millions of dollars? How many millions of dollars does it
I had
generate?
my pinky on my mouth. Did you not see that?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Right.
Oh, let's go with 100 million.
I'm gonna say 750 million.
750
Holy shit.
million.
There's a lot of white people.
There's a lot of white people. Oh my god.
That was beautiful.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
There's a lot of white girl crack out there.
I'm going to go with 450 million.
Oh my god. Oh, that was pretty good. Sorry, I'm still laughing at the white people comment. All right, the answer is 80 million people. $80 million is how much it generates. So I think
Ooh.
Burke was the one who was
I
closest
won.
on that one. Yeah. So I say so you definitely got that one. What do you have the totals, by the way?
Yeah, I'm not saying them. I want one more question.
Oh, you want one more question?
Let's go one more.
He's tied with somebody.
Okay, well, if there's a tie, I do have I have some tiebreakers.
Actually, Craig's winning by 1 point.
Well, let's do one more just to be safe here, okay? All right. So in America, say in American football, I should say, is to fall like fish are to water. So what with the rise of people playing fantasy football, according to the New York Post, how many people will play fantasy football this year? So how many people are going to be playing fantasy football this year?
100 million.
100 million from Burke?
Yep.
I'm gonna say 15 million.
15 million from Michelle?
I'm going to go with 100 million and one person.
Ooh, wow. Still, regardless, Burke gets the point. It's 75 million.
Wow. That means we tied. Craig, you can't win.
Oh. but really though, we all learned a lot about fall today. That's the important thing. So really, the winners here are all of us. So, is it safe to say that Michelle totally dominated this one again?
No, I think I lost because of the estimation ones.
Yeah, I think the estimations one killed her, and she got -1 point in the beginning for not being creative.
Ooh,
so
man.
she was at 4 points.
She was at 4 points, and now she's at 3.
No, she would have been at 5 points.
Oh man.
So well, I'll give it to Craig without that last point. It was Craig with 8, me with 7, and Michelle with 4.
Wow.
So Craig finally wins.
Wait! You're telling me that the Grinch won? Won the fall game?
Yeah.
What?
Is it? Was it a know your enemy thing or what?
I think it is. It is. He lived with you so long. He goes, I'm going to learn everything about fall, and I'm going to crush it.
I probably just absorbed the information of you spouting it over the last 5-10 years.
There's going to be one day I will have an opportunity to take this lovely, this 4-letter word, this not lovely, this hateful 4-letter word, and throw it in Brian's face. And that's when he's going to say, fuck fall, it got dunked on.
It's going to taste like pumpkin spice.